Our next one is my favourite. This is Be More Boz, Not Boss. And Nigel knew who Boz was, and Boz was, of course, the greatest happypreneur of all time, and it isn't me, it is introducing to you at last in person, it is Monsieur Charles Dickens, and that is him, and he is the greatest happypreneur of all time, and he is my constant inspiration. And of course he's my constant inspiration because not of his writing, funnily enough, not of his writing, but because of him. You see, he was happy at least 80% of the time throughout most of his life. There were little down periods now and again, but I'm going to explain why he was always inspiring to everyone around him and why he was inspired every day himself. And he lived, if you like, the whole way that I like to try and live, even though we're in different centuries and things like that. And I'm not even 100 years old yet, I'm 73 at the moment. There we go. Anyway, so Boz, that was the name of Charles Dickens, while he was anonymously working as a solicitor's clerk and a journalist, and he was writing stories by Boz. And the stories were so successful that he was eventually able to create a writing career. The thing is that me and Boz and Charles Dickens share a philosophy. I'll talk more about philosophy later on, but basically it's pretty stoic, if you like, but he was also religious as well. And if you have values and belief, then that kind of like is inspiring all the time to you, because your values and your belief are what makes you always like get up during the day, and when you actually look at something you actually think, well, does that fit in with my values and various things, and do it. Now the thing that Charles Dickens did was that he, although he made millions, absolutely made millions, and remember, he was the most successful entertainer that has ever been in the world. When he actually did his lecture, his reading tours of his books throughout America and throughout the UK, he actually filled stadiums, and they had to find places that were bigger than theatres in order to accommodate all the various people. He was so popular, there is no person that's ever been more popular in Britain than him. But one of the reasons for that was that he was a man of the people. He never acted like a boss, even though he had many staff and many people dependent on his success. He was always promoting other writers. He edited other writers. He was always with friends. He always believed what my philosophy teacher told me, and spent a whole life doing it. He became chief rabbi. His name was Jonathan Sacks, became Lord Jonathan Sacks. And he spent his life saying that the we is more important than the I. In other words, he was never interested in status needs. It was a terrible thing for him, if he'd known, but he was dead by then, that he was actually buried in Poets' Corner in Westminster, because he just wanted to be known as Charles Dickens. He wouldn't take any honours, he wanted to be a man of the people, and that's why he was loved by the people throughout, because he was one of them. He didn't have status needs, he would talk to everybody. He went to the prisons, and he got his inspiration from 7 hours walking around London. He did all the things whereby he was learning, he was understanding. He wasn't actually, I mean, let's compare it with a major banker at JP Morgan, the chief executive, the boss of JP Morgan, all of these Goldman Sachs, all of these companies, they will probably never, and this is why the financial crash happened, they'll never actually, they'll never go on a bus like me. they'll never walk around the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning like Charles Dickens. In other words, they will never meet with ordinary people and be of the people, if you like. And of course that's where we get our inspiration from, because we get it from meeting people in what a friend called Michael Owen calls light chats. In other words, you bump into people as you're walking around. You see, you observe, you see what's actually happening. And that's where your inspiration comes from daily. So you just can't wait to actually get out and about and listen and learn and do all those things. You're not working at inspiration, but you are being of the people, because it's regularly said that being around people, if you like, and I don't like being, I don't go to networking events, I don't do any of that, because I don't like people that much, but I like being around them, if you like, while I'm outside walking, various things. And the first thing you've got to do is drop all the status stuff. You know, drop all the stuff of like, I am the boss, I am the leader, and things like that. I've always led sports teams, I've always led school, I've always done all these various things, but I've always tried to empower all the people in the team so that we are part of a team. The we is more important than the I. Be more boss and less boss.